Hey everybody, I'm a big stupid ass! Oh wait, my name is Effing Controller and I'm playing a game called Uncharted Waters. So, actually, I should go back to the map. I don't know why I just went away. The reason I say I'm a big stupid ass, if it's not manifestly obvious, there are other reasons, amongst which are the fact, I don't know if you've looked at the map really, but, you know, we're at that blue flashing dot where Amsterdam is, and there are actually multiple ports in Europe that I haven't been to. And I was, in the last episode, crowing about how I got all the wonderful ports discovered and what a great guy I am, and I'm not a good person. Let's just get that out of the way first. But I certainly have not discovered everything. So what I've done is I've put the Tulip into moorage. It's just chilling here in Amsterdam. And I'm gonna just try to finish this. Just gonna try to get this finished. Done and dusted. Finish him! Him being the ocean. Which is unusual. Danzig! Mother! Tell your children not to sail in here. There's multiple ports. There's Danzig and Riga. There might be one more here. I know that Stockholm is one. Actually, let's go even further. St. Petersburg is not there, obviously. Was it even there historically? I don't know. I can't remember. There's Stockholm. Going into the Gulf of... Oh, fuck. The Gulf of Oh, fuck. Oh, come on. See, now, wait a minute. I feel like... Is this like the third instance of mermaids? I almost feel like we've been through here before. And I don't know. It's possible. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting the mermaid's sorrowful song. Whoa, and then her sultry dance. And then my men are gonna, they're gonna just throw themselves into the ocean heedlessly. I almost feel like we've been through here before. And I might have missed it, I guess, but whatever. We'll have to go to Stockholm, I guess, and man up. But no, we can go further. We can go elsewhere. There's another place, though, where I haven't managed to discover all the ports, and that's in the Black Sea, so we're going to have to go there, too. Fortunately, since we are in the La Real, it's going to be fairly quick. And I do apologize for my lack of attention with this particular matter. God, this ship is so much faster. We're sailing into a headwind right now. We're doing 19 knots. That's great. That's pretty great, you guys. What a great ship we have here. Go across the Bay of Biscay. Not to be whoa, buddy. Not to be confused with the Bay of Biscotti. Ho, 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 ho. Ho. Sorry. And we're gonna have plenty of food. Yeah. We'll make it easily to the Black Sea. No problem. Unless some other pirate tries to buzz us and eat our faces off. Yep. Not too exciting right now. Oh, boy. I do really feel stupid about that. Because it was glaring at me as I ended the last episode. I was looking at the map. I was like, something seems wrong. Why does this look not done? And sure enough, it was because it was definitely not done. Alright. Kaffa, and then there's Azov, I think. Neither of which we need to bother with. We're just getting them on the map. Trebizond's already on there. Okay. Now, I feel like we went to Trebizond for one of the missions that we had to do for Chunky Monkey, but I guess I didn't bother with exploring the rest. I must have just been distracted, I guess. So, well, now I have an interesting issue. Where do we go from here? You know, we've probably we should probably go back to Mercator and check in with him and see if we've satisfied him. You know, academically, of course, not in any other way. And then once we get that cleared up, I'll make a decision about where we should go. Now, I should probably get well, it's probably not a great idea, but I feel like doing it. I'm going to get a few La Reals and use some of the names that you guys have provided me with. And just sail around and do like a little bit of trading. Oh god. Oh god. I thought they were chasing me for a second. I'm just paranoid right now, I guess. We're actually at the point here, too, where we need to worry about stuff like scurvy and rats and crap. But I think that we'll make it to Amsterdam in enough time. We have enough food to make it all the way there, so... Just cruising along. And there we are. Good for Earth. The game announces my success with horrible beeps. Okay. So we'll see if Mercator, contrary to what I was initially saying, is actually okay with us just discovering every port and getting most of the land discovered. Well, not really. I guess he's... yeah, he's gonna give us a whopping 480 gold. Okay. So we do need to definitely, absolutely explore ocean squares. I will be getting some, and some of these useless Arctic ones too, apparently. I'm going to be getting new ships that I'm going to name after the names you've given me. And I'm going to do that in kind of a tedious process because you can only, well, I'll probably buy some used, but... You know, that's just watching me... It's like watching me go shopping. I don't think anybody wants to do that. So, I'll do that off camera and pick things up once I've bought everything I need. Ta-da! We have a fleet now, and I was kind of intending on just, you know, sort of kind of getting a bunch of La Reals, but it didn't turn out that way. The ports that reliably have La Reals were not so reliable in having La Reals. So I kind of had to get a little grab bag of ships. We have 2 La Reals, a frigate, which is in the middle row directly ahead of the other La Real. And then on the top with the red sails, I believe, is a pinnace. And then to the right of that is a sloop. And the frigate is called the Cockslap in honor of Influx. Or, well, no, wait, not in honor. Oh god, what have I just said? Edit, delete! Shit. Well, that's staying in the final cut. He suggested the name Cockslap. And I would have named it the Mushroom Tattoo instead, but there's not enough room, so there you go. And there's the bump fondle right next to the Cockslap. And we've got the Buffett because Dowd Pride recommended that we name a port Buffettville. I didn't end up doing that, so I'm naming it after, I'm assuming, Warren Buffett, the holding company owner, the master of stock market chicanery. Actually, I'm guessing it's probably named after Jimmy Buffett, and I have a story about Jimmy Buffett that I should tell you after I introduce the Snake Eater, as recommended by Lord Matt Carl, I think. And I don't know, he apparently knows quite a lot about my personal life. I'll just leave it at that. And then finally we have the hello.jpg. He wanted, it was Skydree who recommended this. He wanted it to be called the HMS Goatsea. I vetoed that, and as a compromise, I have decided to call this the hello.jpg. And I like that because it's red, and I'm just going to leave that alone. Don't Google this. Thank you. Alright, so Jimmy Buffett. For the longest time, and I never really listened to Margaritaville. Oh, and by the way, we're just going to go exploring now, not in any particular direction. I wasn't really much of a Jimmy Buffett fan. I kind of liked the idea of Jimmy Buffett, I guess. But, oh, go away, please. But I never really listened to his songs, and I work nights, and my coworkers like to listen to the radio. I don't tend to, but Margaritaville came on the radio, and I realized, you know what? I've never really listened to this. And it got to the line where he says, what is it? Blew out a flip-flop, Stepped on a pop top. I guess that's what the actual lyric is. But he kind of fudges the pop top part. And it sounds like to me, it sounded like he said, stepped on a cock, and I don't know why. Maybe Dr. Freud has a lot to say about that, but I was like, that cannot be it. I mean, it could be a conch, which would make sense given the song. But no, I listened again and I kept hearing cock, like he was like kind of like ashamed to say, which he should be in all fairness. And it took me like multiple listenings, like I don't know how many times, but then I heard the first word and I was like, hot cock? Is he really saying that? He's stepped on a hot cock? What kind of beach party is this? But then I put it together and I felt really embarrassed. And when you think about it, I already got supplies. I'm not thinking about it, I guess. When you really think about it, that's a weird lyric anyways. But again, it's a weird song. I'm reading way too much into it. The point is that I apparently have cock on the brain. Oh God. I'm on record as saying that. Well, anyways, we're on the west coast of Africa now. Oh God. So that storm kind of snuck up on me, and by the way, you've probably noticed that we're going slow. That's because the ships that we have are fairly slow. And the reason why that storm snuck up on me, though, is that I do not have a first mate right now. The only person who is not assigned to a ship is Jacob, who is my bookkeeper. And I was planning on doing some trading. There's Jacob there. And I should probably consider promoting him to first mate. Damn it. Just because he's not really skilled enough to be... He doesn't have the right skills to be first mate. But it's better than nothing. I don't know if it'll let me. It will let me. So there we go. Normally, I think the game requires you to have celestial navigation to... Wait, why am I stopping here? God damn it. Oh, and it's an English port. We better get out of here. England hates me. Oh, God. Oath. Oh, my God. You just keep harping on it. Why don't you go marry yourself? You got it on... You just gotta frickin' get out of here. Alright. Well, that was fun. So, this is actually kind of expensive to operate a fleet like this. The reason... But I was planning on doing some trade because obviously we have a lot of cargo capacity now. With, 5 ships in the fleet. And I wanted to take a bunch of stuff to Africa and sell it and buy gold. But then I realized... Why are you doing that? You're gonna go probably just sail around in the Southern Ocean and not really do anything interesting. And we're gonna wait here. You're useless. Your eagle blue eyes did not help me any at all whatsoever, ever. And there we are. Now, some of our ships that we have in this ragtag little fleet of ours are really, really bad. As far as dealing with storms, anyways. I mean, I like the sloop and I like the pinnace. They're good little ships, especially when you're starting out. They're good exploration ships, especially the sloop, which is usually considered in the same league as the La Real for exploration. I just find the La Real to be way more versatile, and that's... God, I sounded like Martha Stewart with how I enunciated versatile. But there you go. Versatile. Talk like an American. Oh. I don't have any guns. Otherwise, I would probably annihilate you. That's so tempting. He's moving faster than me anyways. Oh, thank you. And you know what? I got distracted by my prey. He led me astray. Oh, no. Don't rhyme anymore, please. You know what? Shit. The thing about having La Reals, too, is that you sail faster, and consequently, you don't run into storms as much. And when you do, you just move right along and get out of the area where there are storms. We're not doing that. Somehow we weathered the storm by remaining on land. Oh god, is it ever tempting to frame skip? Well, I'll tell you what, you guys. Since this passage is liable to be somewhat lengthy, and since you've seen it a few times before, I think I'm going to pick things up once I hit Lwanda. How's that sound? Good? Good. That's exactly what's going to happen. And now we rejoin The Terrible Ideas of Ernst von Bohr, featuring me effing controller. And we have hit Lwanda. The waters should be, those uncharted waters of ours, they should be less prone to kill us. But we are moving really slowly. So what I'm going to do is Man, I hate you guys, first of all. The reason why is that... Actually, I don't hate all of you guys. I hate one of you very much in particular. In light of the fact that the Southern Ocean is really where we're going to have to be exploring a lot, we're going to have to use a certain port quite a bit to resupply. And that port is right here. And you may know it best as Sodomy Heaven. So we're going to be hearing the phrase Sodomy Heaven quite a lot. And as the tranquil, dulcet piano tones play in the background, you will always be thinking of Sodomy Heaven whenever you are here. Maybe you think of Sodomy Heaven when you're not here. Seek help. But in any event, we're leaving Sodomy Heaven for now. We will be back, and let's take a look at the map and see what chunks. Oh boy, there is a lot of uncharted water out there. And after I just said that whole thing about having to use Africa or South Africa as kind of a base, we probably will use Madagascar a lot. So, let's just head due south. Why not? Let's go hog wild here. Let's go see some penguins. If we can. A lot of the oddball islands of the world, like the one French named one, like Kerguelen or Kerguelen or Kerguelen, that's near Antarctica. It's actually a fairly big island. Is not modeled in this game at all. It's not. I said modeled like it's rendered in 3D or something. It's not in the game. St. Helena is not in the game. Historically famous as the final place of exile for Napoleon and his ample physique. What? That was uncalled for. Anywho, we're here in Antarctica. This is getting a little bit weird. Weirder. Oh, we had 666 for our supplies. That's fun. So we're just gonna try and get some exploration points here. We're not gonna get any discoveries. There aren't any here, for one. I'll just spoil it and tell you that if you want to find discoveries, you don't really need to go here. And also, we know that there aren't any more because a certain professor friend of ours has said, no, you have everything you ever would need to know about the world right in that magnificent brain of yours. So we're just gonna, do our thing here for a little bit. And I should be watching our food a little bit more closely because we're kind of far from anywhere. We're gonna have to go back up to Madagascar. Now, if I was in the La Real, which now I'm kind of regretting this whole fleet thing, what the fuck are you doing here? You're British, go figure. Oh yes, well I'm sailing into the middle of nowhere. I'm trying to find Atlantis. Whatever. We're gonna go to Madagascar and supply up. And probably try to pick things up where we were. I should be paying more attention to how long it is taking us to get to Madagascar, although we are sailing into a headwind. And I am also sailing the wrong way. And we're getting a bit better wind. Let's move north now. Nope. And I gotta check the map again. Good thing that we have a great map. Thanks to our amazing skills. At this point, we are basically just playing... You guys remember there was a game that was just called Paint? maybe it wasn't called Paint. That's not MS Paint. That's the game where you have to control like a little paintbrush with a joystick, and it just moves. And you have to turn it at the right time to get it to cover the board, and there's obstacles and stuff. And is this making any sense to anybody? I don't know. But anyway, oh, hey, we haven't... Now, what the hell is this? Why is this Tamatavi now? I thought I changed this. You know what? I figured out what's going on. I just, in that moment, figured out what is happening here. The game will glitch out on me occasionally, and I haven't recorded it, I haven't talked about it up until this point, because I just figure, oh well, I'll just start over, because it usually doesn't happen that far into an episode. No big deal. This stuff happens. But I think that's why the Baltic magically became unexplored, and why this is now Tamatavi. I thought this was like Port Disney. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I could be completely wrong. I'm not going to bother renaming it to Port Disney because that's stupid. So we're going to just head southeast from here. But regardless, I think that's what happened. I'll have to go back and look at the other videos and see if the ports in I guess the Baltic were discovered before. But I actually guess I don't care that much. I talked myself out of that real quick. Alright. So once we hit the Antarctic coast, I think we will resume. And I actually will turn us due south here in a moment. Because we're making good time. We have favorable wind. And I think once we hit Antarctica, we will turn east. Speaking of paint, this is probably like watching paint dry. Oh, we had 666 for supplies again. We are truly Satan incarnate. Or something. Okay, there we go. I was figuring it would have to happen soon. And one of our ships is apparently slowing us down quite a bit. I'm kind of thinking it might actually be the sloop. And one thing about ships is that it's not just the ship itself that determines the speed of your fleet. It's actually your who's commanding the ship. And actually, let's just take a quick moment. Nope, not a quick moment to look at our journal. Is it going to be in fleet info? Well, let's take a look, and I have a pretty good idea of who the culprit is. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Ah, no, this is it. You see how there's a little stopwatch on the bottom? It says 10. That's its speed. It's not really how fast it actually goes in wind, because we're obviously going 15 knots. So that's not possible. Well, that says 10 too. That says 12. That's one of our La Reals. And the cockslap says 13. So that's kind of the speed unassisted or something of the ship. I don't really know, but those smaller ships don't do so well. Especially because they've been damaged and the storms have kind of taken out some of their efficiency. So we actually do need to eventually get to a civilized port. A civilized port to resupply and fix our ships. Sounded like I had a stroke there. I'm okay, don't worry. Alright, so we're gonna go to Australia. Eventually. But I think I only half explained that. So basically, the littler ships are slowing us down. We're not able to really go that fast. 15 knots is respectable. When you're doing really hardcore trading and exploring in the game, though, you want to be able to go 19 and 20 consistently. Trading in the game is really dictated by speed, and the reason for that is oftentimes the best way to make profit in this game is to have a tax-free permit. And we haven't done a whole lot of trading. We've done some very superficial basic trading, but if you're frequently trading, you are going to get charged taxes by the countries who own the ports that you trade in. And having a tax-free permit obviously will negate that. The problem is that tax-free permits run for 6 months out of the year. And at that point you need to buy a new one. So, if you sail too slowly, you will, your permit will run out. So that's always something to keep in mind. You have to kind of establish a rhythm for your trading voyages in order to prevent yourself from running out of... And you can only buy the tax-free permit, with some exceptions, in the palace of each nation. So, like, if I want a Spanish one, I have to go to Madrid. Or, well, not Madrid, I have to go to Seville. Madrid is normally the capital of Spain, but in this game, it is Seville. We're in Port Irwin. Maybe I just thought about naming that other port Port Disney. I don't know. I have these wild-ass thoughts sometimes. Well, sometimes, all the time. What am I talking about? Okay, let's go around Tasmania. Has anybody been to Tasmania out there? Just curious. Seems like an interesting place. What with all the devils. Alright, I'm just trying to make chit-chat because honestly, you guys, this part, doing this kind of stuff, is a little tedious. A little bit World of Warcraft-like. Ooh, zing! But you gotta do it, apparently, to beat the game. And honestly, this is kind of spoilering it, too, because I already told you that there's really, literally, 0 things of interest here in Antarctica. There's nothing, there's no discoveries, there's no ports. It's just barren, icy death and decay and destruction. Now I need to figure out where I should stop. Maybe I missed a little notch there on the left. I might have to double back and get that there. But the reason I'm chatting so much is just to fill in the time, so... Oh my god. How about now? Fuck. I would like to... You see, if you have a La Real, you could probably do this in just 2 stops or something. So I really shot myself in the foot by creating this fleet of idiocy. I think we're gonna sail until we get to New Zealand, to the Shire, so that we can recall the taste of strawberries and cream. And once we're there, we'll continue. And since, oh man, I feel like skipping parts of this, that's not good. Really, I mean, a game is meant to be enjoyed and savored at all moments. And, you know, sailing by just a blank white landscape isn't all that fun. I don't really know very much about Antarctica. I mean, I know where it is and what it is, and I could tell you about the episode of 321 Contact. You are a long way from home. You're Dutch. Your name is Maurice. You will have a fantastic name, sir. Okay. I was going to tell you guys about the episode of 321 Contact that I saw about Antarctica, but no one wants to hear that story. They did an episode about Antarctica. Yup. It's cold. It's cold down there. That was one of the songs, actually, in that episode about how cold it was. It's about how it's cold up in the Arctic, but it's in the Antarctic it's even colder. Fun fact. Okie dokie. Where's the Shire? There we are. It's near Bree. It's in the Bree lands. Good God. Ha. There we are. Maybe Rosie Cotton will pay us a visit. You're not Rosie Cotton. You're some guy with green hair. That's really disconcerting how many people have green hair in this game. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get us at least to South America. No, I'm gonna stick with this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get us all the way explored here in Antarctica, and then stop in Sodomy Heaven for forever because I don't want to leave, and wind things up there. That's a plan. That sounds like a plan to me. We will have to stop in South America though, actually, because this is going to take a while. And I'm really weighing my options for frame skipping. My hand is drifting to the button. See, there's some interesting, semi-interesting islands here. They look like things. I don't know. It's like watching clouds. That's it. You guys should pretend that that's a cloud at the bottom and tell me what you think you see. Turds. More turds. A rounder turd. A tiny turd. An L-shaped turd. Another L-shaped turd. God. Okay, so between the poop and the dicks, I think I have established my mental age. Yep. Antarctica. Drink it in. So, how about that local sports team? The Antarctic... Well, obviously it would be the Penguins. But then that's Pittsburgh. So, what are they gonna do? What would they play in Antarctica? Go fuck yourself, ball? I don't know. So... that looks like a sperm. I'm just gonna say it. Now, one thing about this, I'm gonna actually talk about the game. Finally. My crew is gonna get an insane amount of experience about doing this kind of stuff. Sailing for long periods of time is great for getting crew experience, for getting them better at sailing in general. So, I mean, that stands to reason, obviously. And, oh boy, we're almost to South America. But it seems to me that it kind of scales up as you start to sail for longer and longer. So, we're going to go up to... I don't remember what we renamed this port to, so... We'll find out. I'm really tempted to frame skip. Oh, whoops, my finger slipped. That's the Vampire Bat Village. And... Achoo! Achoo! I'm allergic. Oh, hey! Salad fingers land.
I love the feeling of rust.
Okay, that's disconcerting. My goodness. Well, this has been a little bit of a trip down memory lane, so I don't feel so bad. 555. We are spending a lot of money just to resupply. We better wind this up and probably sell these ships because I have no use for them. The frigate is the only one I would even consider using in the game, but frigates, they have none of the... they're supposed to be like a midway between a full-rigged and maybe something like a sloop, I guess. The problem is that they have none of the benefits of either. They don't have the gunnery of a full-rigged, and they don't have the maneuverability of a sloop, which is why you would buy either one of them. So I tend not to buy frigates. They're decent trading ships, but as we've established, they're not really that fast. So basically, I am kind of showing off some of the misfits of the game. And speaking of misfits, I don't know how to do anything. Yep. So we just went to the very end of Tierra del Fuego. And we wasted some time doing that. Goody. But now we're going through the actual strait here. I always do that. I think I do that every time I play this game. I always go to the south thinking, oh, I'll be able to go completely around, but no. Now, I think sometimes there's a village in this area somewhere, but not on actual Antarctica, so again, Antarctica sucks and I hate it. And how far do we have to go before we get to... Oh, we've got a ways to go. Okay. We better keep an eye on our food, which I squandered. See, now this is actually giving you guys a little bit more of a realistic view of the game if you're new. But I've already ruined it for you anyways. But if you're playing and you have like a ship like a galleon or a carrack or something, wind really dictates the pace of the game, obviously. But you'll run out of food more often. You'll have more problems with the game in general. We've been having a very easy go of it, though, because we have the L'Oreal, because I know that that's pretty much the ship that breaks the game and makes it like an instant win button. You just have to put in the time, I guess. Oh, hey, so we're about to go off the edge of the world. Oh, wait. Thank God. And on that topic, we should probably look at the map. So that we really don't go off the edge of the world, I guess. Alright. You know what? I should have named... Nah. I was gonna say I should have named something in this game after Chuck Woolery, because that guy's great. Just filling time here, guys. Sorry. feel like a opening act for a comedian who is drinking backstage and refuses to go on or something. Not that I've ever been in that position before. Okay, so we've got 23 days. Oh my god, time compression. Oops, how did that happen? We went through a wormhole. It's Star Trek. Okay. We're just gonna skip along here a little bit. And I'm just gonna outright cheat and use the... Yeah. I mean, what difference does it make, really? So, do we have a cat? That's an odd question, I realize, out of the blue, but, good check. No, we just have weapons and armor. Cat is really handy to have on long voyages because they eat, rats, and they mark their territory and make the ship smell even worse. I am skipping frames like you wouldn't believe right now. Hey, there we are! It's Sodomy Heaven again! Wow. Okay, well that was kind of a cheesy episode, you guys, and look at all the levels we're gonna get. Some of the guys aren't gonna get anything out of this. I think, actually, Hans didn't get anything. I wasn't paying any attention. But anyways, we're back in Sodomy Heaven. We're gonna rest ourselves here a while and have a heavenly time, but, we had to do what we had to do. And actually, let's look at the net result. We have completely charted... Oh, hey! Fuck! How could I have missed the Falklands? They're so important! Oh, and that was after I just said, no, none of those weird South Atlantic islands are in the game. Nope, the Falklands definitely are. There's nothing on them, but we have to explore them. I'm going to do that off screen. Just want to say for the record. But yeah, we have made good progress. We probably will have to do more exploring of these ocean squares a bit. I might skip over that, though, to be honest, you guys, because I think it makes for bad watching, and it leads me to say embarrassing things about myself. So there you go. We have, on the other hand, explored Antarctica in kind of a weird fleet, which I consider to be an okay achievement. So I'm comfortable with the outcome of this episode, even though I said some regrettable things. Alright, I'm going to wind it up here. This has been Effing Controller playing Uncharted Waters, New Horizons, where I've explored personal islands for all to enjoy. Next episode, we'll finish this thing up. We will hopefully come to the end. See you guys later.